Hello, friends. We, your friends at the Three Messengers television channel, wish you a wonderful day and a blessed Sabbath day today. At this time, our minds are focused on the island of Jamaica and the very trying times its people are now experiencing in the aftermath of the most powerful hurricane to devastate the country in over a century. The country of Jamaica is now in recovery mode after the deadly Hurricane Melissa. We are asking you to pray for the nation. Some prominent towns like Black River. Hurricane Melissa impacted numerous towns in Jamaica, with some of the most severely affected areas including Black River and St. Elizabeth, and many towns in Westmoreland and St. James parishes. Other affected locations were in parishes like Portland, which saw landslides and flooding, and Montego Bay, where coastal areas were inundated. St. Elizabeth Black River, described as Ground Zero, the town suffered almost total destruction, with an estimated 90% of homes destroyed and severe flooding and storm surge damage. Middle Quarters experienced significant flooding. Lacovia suffered flooding. Santa Cruz experienced widespread flooding. Westmoreland Savannah La Mar suffered severe flooding. Negril experienced flooding. Frome experienced flooding. Bluefields experienced flooding. Little London experienced flooding. Other affected parishes. Portland parish experienced landslides and flooding, with towns like Buff Bay, Hope Bay, and Manchineal reporting damage. St. James Montego Bay suffered extensive flooding, and infrastructure was badly affected. Manchester was one of the 6 most severely impacted parishes. St. Mary reported damage, though not on the scale of St. Elizabeth or Trelawney. So friends, I'm asking you to continue to support the people of Jamaica through their government. Please see the web address at the bottom of the screen to make financial donation on where to contribute to Jamaica's disaster recovery. It will take an extended period of time to achieve complete stability in that great country of world-class athletes, music, art, culture, and great natural resources. God bless you for your love and gifts to the people of Jamaica. Looking closer at this great catastrophe, what have we learned as the people of God? Why did these things occur? Is God's hands involved in people's suffering? Remember that in the Holy Scriptures God had promised certain vivid signs that would occur before His coming. That is the purpose of Earth's many catastrophes today. They are to remind us of the coming of the Lord, and that we should be ready. This is a revelation to us through the violent activities of nature that these events point to the coming of the Lord as reminders to us that a great judgment day is coming, and we all should be ready for that great day. Let us look at God's holy word for some answers to why there are storms and other catastrophes, reading from Matthew 28 verses 4 to 13. It states, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many lose faith and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." Let us not lose sight of our journey to the kingdom of God. Remember, these catastrophes and pestilences are warnings that we should prepare for the coming of the Lord. Malachi chapter 4 verse 1 states, "For, behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch." The Lord speaking to us through nature, telling us to repent and turn to Him.
At least 19 people are now confirmed dead after Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica this week. More than half the island has no power or a working water system. There were desperate scenes in Montego Bay as residents lined up to get food, water, and cash. American tourists are still trying to make their way back home. Melissa was the most powerful storm to ever hit Jamaica and the first major hurricane to make landfall on the island since 1988. Jason Allen has more from Kingston.
4 days after Hurricane Melissa made landfall here, teams were finally able to clear a second path into Black River. The destruction looks endless in that community. 2 different government officials said as the days pass here, people are becoming more desperate. 2/3 of the island has no power. Less than half of it has communications. Nearly 400 water systems were knocked out by the storm. 3 U.S. Army Chinook helicopters have arrived, and that's to quickly help move aid across the island. 5 more choppers are also on the way. And U.S. residents who rode out the storm in hotels are just now finding ways to get home.
We're in it together. That's right. We're still breathing.
Ryan and Cindy Litchfield were flying home with Gray Bull Rescue, a Florida organization that found a way to get 341 people back from 2 very hard-hit Montego Bay resorts. Planes carrying relief supplies are also on their way in. There were 20 of those flights that landed yesterday, and the Montego Bay Airport is scheduled to open for passenger flights today.
And just completely decimated the entire island.
There's a person behind every one of these homes, towns. It's personal. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's going to have a different level of need as the island sort of picks up the pieces here. You just got to literally scrape the mud off and start again. They will find a way to thrive, but they're going to need a lot of help. And there's a lot of people working extremely hard. The only way this can work is through a unified and coordinated approach. We're all connected, an open line communication the whole time, so that the left and the right hand really know what's going on.
This is Food for the Poor, but we're not just food.
We go beyond the plate to discuss a full range of development programs, all designed to break the cycle of poverty.
By empowering people with the tools and training they need to transform their lives for generations to come.
These stories will inspire you, and best of all, you can be part of the change that takes place.
Join us as we go beyond the plate. Well, welcome to Beyond the Plate. It is with heavy heart that we actually have this episode. A lot of times we talk about the mission of Food for the Poor, and we have an opportunity to talk with a bit of urgency and seriousness. This actually hits home. Yeah. This really hits home, not only for me personally, but it hits home for pretty much everybody in this building, including our guest, President and CEO of Food for the Poor, Ed Rain. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you, guys. Good to be here. And yes, I'm married to a Jamaican. She grew up in Kingston, and so she has a brother and sister there, and we know so many people. So, you know, the anxiety in this building was palpable this week.
Yeah.
And I know for sure that there's many people who have not heard yet from their relatives.
On Tuesday, October 28th, while many of us were beginning our day, sending our children to school, going to work, activities, 3 million people in Jamaica were being pounded with probably the largest hurricane that has set foot on Jamaica's soil, if not the entire Caribbean, in the Atlantic Basin.
Largest storm in 90 years.
90 years, right? Okay. Category 5, Hurricane Melissa, arrived and touched ground on New Hope, Jamaica, southwest portion of Jamaica, and just completely decimated not just the southwestern, but we're talking about the entire island. Now, last year, the last time we had you on Beyond the Plate, we were talking about Hurricane Beryl, which grazed the southern part, and it was by no means a small hurricane. 1,000 homes were completely destroyed. But this is a lot different, Ed. This storm really...
This feels more like you should compare it to Hurricane Andrew.
We were saying that.
And for many of us, including myself, and family members whose houses were impacted, destroyed back then. And so the nightmare of Hurricane Andrew returns to us. But it's that severe. And that eye of the storm that crossed that western part of Jamaica is like, being described to me as like, it's like a buzzsaw. It just, it's a tornado. So we don't even know what the what the status is. We can't talk to people. I was told that even our mission yesterday to go west only got as far as Black River, the hospital there, and there were no roads accessible beyond that, further west. So, we wait patiently to hear, but we're very, very nervous for some of those communities.
Where do you start to rebuild or think about, where do I put all this stuff together so I can now move on with what's next?
Well, I think the first part is that you look around you to see where you can get some immediate support. And typically that's either going to be the municipality, if they have something set up, or the church.
Yeah.
So, for Food for the Poor, we've got 42-year history in Jamaica, and on a routine basis every month, we send out distributions to just almost 40 different, and they're nearly all churches. So, and then they send out to other churches, all denominations across the island. So we have this kind of complete network of distribution in Jamaica already. We've had it for years. So what's sort of going on now is we got to, prime that pump, get more and more going through it. But as we learn exactly which community is most, seriously affected, then obviously we're going to prioritize. So I would say, Danny, that the thing is that you wake up, you got to figure something out. You go to the city hall, or you go to the church. And so we are very much coordinated with the government. In fact, Nakli Haddo is the chairman of the Emergency Response Committee for the non-government sector. So he's at a seat at the table with all of the planning that the government's doing, so he can make sure that the NGOs are properly organized. So that's the starting point is the sort of things that we've been packing for and that we're shipping down. So you need a hygiene kit. You got to have somewhere to clean up. You need a cleaning kit to clean up whatever you got left of where you're living. And we've seen some video coverage today where, you see the water line, the debris of the water line sort of at the 6 feet level in Montego Bay. So, and it's going to be unimaginable just how many homes that, are just, even if there are walls, you got to start with the cleanup process. So